Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome to another video of Sleep to Islam, where I read the English translation of surahs, and in this video I will be finishing Surah Yusuf, so if you missed part 1, make sure to check it out. I absolutely love this story. So, let's just get started. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Several years later, when the famine started and there was no food available outside of Egypt, Yusuf's brothers came to Egypt for food and entered his office. He recognized them, but they did not recognize him. When he had given them their due provisions, and they were about to leave, he said, "Bring your half-brother to me next time. Do you not see that I give full measure and provide the best hospitality? But if you do not bring him, you shall have no grain, nor shall you even come near me again." They replied, "We shall certainly try our best to get permission from his father. This we will surely do." Yusuf told his servants to put his brother's trading stock into their saddlebags secretly, so that they should know about it only when they reach their family, so that they might come back. When Yusuf's brothers returned to their father, they said, "Father, grain is henceforth denied us unless we take our step-brother with us. Please send our brother with us so that we may get our measure. We take full responsibility for his safety." He said, "Should I trust you with him as I once trusted you with his brother? Allah is the best protector, and He is the most merciful of those who show mercy." When they opened their package, they discovered that their money had been returned to them. "Father," they cried with joy, "what more can we ask for? Here is our trading stock returned to us. We will bring more food for our family. We will take good care of our brother and obtain an extra camel load of grain. This way it will be easy to add another camel load of grain." Yaqub replied, "I will never send him with you until you pledge in the name of Allah that you will surely bring him back to me, unless you become helpless." And when they had given their pledge, he said, "Allah is the witness over the pledge you made." Then he said, "My sons, do not enter through one gate. Enter through different gates. I cannot avail you against Allah's decree." This advice is just a precaution, because the decision lies with Allah alone. In Him do I put my trust, and in Him let all those that trust put their trust in Him. When they entered the city, as their father had advised them, it did not avail them against the will of Allah. It was just a concern in Yaqub's heart, which he satisfied. Indeed, he possessed the knowledge which we had given him, but most people do not know. When they entered upon Yusuf, he called his brother Benjamin alone to himself and said, "In fact, I am your brother Yusuf. Now you need not grieve at what they had been doing." While Yusuf was arranging the loads of their provisions, he had put the royal drinking cup into his brother's pack. Later on, a crier called out, "O people of the caravan, you must be thieves." They turned back Yusuf's brother said, "By Allah, you should know by our behavior during our stay here that we did not come here to make mischief in the land, and we are no thieves." The royal servant said, "What should be the punishment of the thief if you are liars?" They replied, "The punishment is he in whose back you find the royal cup will be to make him your bondsman. That's how we punish wrongdoers." After this, Yusuf first began to search the backs of his stepbrothers before the back of his own brother Benjamin. Finally, he took it out of his brother's back. Thus did we plan for Yusuf. He could not seize his brother unless the king's law, but Allah willed otherwise. We exalt in ranks whom we please. He is the one whose knowledge is far greater than the knowledge of all others. At this accusation, his brothers remarked, This is not strange if he has committed a theft, for his brother also committed a theft before him." Hearing this, Yusuf suppressed his feelings and did not reveal anything to them. He simply whispered to himself, "You are far worse in this respect. Allah knows best the truth of what you assert." They said, "O Aziz, exalted one, he, Benjamin, has a very aged father who may not be able to survive without him. So please take one of us instead of him. We see that you are one of those good doers." Yusuf replied, "We see that you are one of those who do good to others." Yusuf replied, "God forbid that we should seize other than the one with whom we found our property. If we did so, that indeed we would be unjust." When they lost their hope of moving Yusuf, they went aside to confer in private. The eldest of them said, "You know that your father had taken from you a solemn pledge in the name of Allah, and you also know how you fell short of your duty with respect to Yusuf. Therefore, I am not going to leave this land until my father gives me permission or Allah decides for me, and he is the best of all judges. Go back to your father and tell him, 'Father, your son committed theft. We did not see him stealing. However, we saw the stolen cup being brought out of his backpack. We testify only to what we know, and we could not guard the unseen. You may acquire from the people of the city where we have been and the caravan in which we travelled that we are indeed telling the truth.' When they went back and told all this to their father, 'No,' cried their father, 'your souls have contrived a story for you. Well, I will bear this too with good patience. May be Allah will bring them all back to me. Indeed, he is the knowledgeable, wise.' He turned his face away from them, crying, 'Alas for Yusuf!' His eyes became white with grief, and he became sorely oppressed. They said, 'By Allah, it appears that you will not cease to remember Yusuf until you ruin your health or kill yourself.' He said, 'I complain of my distress and grief to Allah alone, and I know from Allah what you do not know. O my sons, go and search for Yusuf and his brother. Never give up hope of Allah's mercy. In fact, none despairs of Allah's mercy except the unbelieving people.' When they went back to Egypt and entered Yusuf's office, they said, 'O Aziz, exalted one, we and our family are in great distress, and we have bought poor capital. quota and treat it as charity to us. Surely Allah rewards the charitable." Hearing this, Yusuf, who could contain himself no longer, replied, "Do you know what you did to Yusuf and his brother while acting out of ignorance?" This took them by surprise, and they said, "What? Are you really Yusuf?" He replied, "Yes, I am Yusuf, and this is my brother. Allah has indeed been gracious to us. Verily, he who fears Allah and is patient, then indeed Allah does not let the reward of the good doers be wasted." They said, "By Allah, certainly Allah has preferred you over us. We have indeed been guilty." Yusuf said, "There is no blame on you today. May Allah forgive you. He is the most merciful of those who show mercy. Go take this shirt of mine and cast it over the face of my father. He will recover his sight. Then come back to me with all the members of your family." When the caravan started from Egypt, their father, who was in the Canaan, said, "Certainly I feel the scent of Yusuf, even though you may think I am out of my mind." The people who heard him said, "By Allah, you are still suffering from your old illusion." But when the bearer of the good news arrived, he cast the shirt of Yusuf over his face, and he regained his sight. Then he said, "Didn't I tell you that I know from Allah what you do not know?" They said, "Father, pray for forgiveness of our sins. We have indeed done wrong." He replied, "Soon I will ask forgiveness for you from my Rabb. Surely he is one who is the forgiving, the merciful." When they came to Yusuf, he took his parents to himself. "Welcome to Egypt. If Allah so wills, you will live here in peace." Then he raised his parents to the throne, and they all fell down in prostration before him. Yusuf said, "O my father, this is the interpretation of my old dream. My Rabb has really made it come true. It was his grace that he took me out of prison and brought you all here from Bedouin life, after Shaitan had stirred up strife between me and my brothers. Surely my Rabb is gracious to whom he wills. Surely he is the one who is the knowledgeable, the wise. O my Rabb, you have indeed given me sovereignty and taught me the interpretation of dreams. O the creator of the heavens and the earth, you are my protector in this world and in the hereafter. Make me die as a Muslim and admit me among the righteous. O Muhammad, this story which we have revealed to you is the news of the unseen, for you were not there with the brothers of Yusuf when they conspired and put together their plan against him. Yet strive as you may, most men are not going to become believers, even though you do not demand any recompense for this information. This Quran is nothing but a reminder for all the worlds. There are many signs in the heavens and the earth which they pass by, yet they pay no attention to them. As a result, most of them believe in Allah, but still commit shirk. Do they feel secure that Allah's scourge will not fall upon them, or that the hour of doom will not come upon them suddenly while they do not suspect it? Tell them plainly, this is my way. I invite you to Allah with sure knowledge which I and my followers possess. Glory be to Allah, and I am not one of the mushrikeen. We did not send Rasuls before you, O Muhammad, but men to whom we sent our revelations after choosing them from the people of their towns. Have these unbelievers not travelled through the land and seen what was that the home of the hereafter is better for those who are righteous. Why don't you understand? Respite was granted until the Rassuls gave up hope of their people and realized that they were being treated as liars. Our help came to them, and we delivered those whom we pleased, and our scourge was not averted from the criminal people. There is a lesson in these stories of former people for the men of common sense. This story of Yusuf, revealed in the Quran, is not an invented tale, but a confirmation of previous scriptures.